Hi everybody, welcome to art class. Today I'm going to show you how to make some hand printed wrapping paper made from potatoes. It's really easy and everyone can get involved and have some fun. Here you can see the example of what it can look like, and you're going to use just regular potatoes like this. I'm just going to take you over here to show you some examples of what they can look like. So you can get lots of different effects using potatoes, all different shapes. Snowmen, you can keep it really simple, deer, roundy shapes, stars, all sorts. Sometimes the simpler the better, but it's really effective. We're going to use just white paper, any paper will do, and then the brown paper. You can get it at the dollar store, or you can get it at Home Depot, a big roll of it, and also you can get, if you get backing paper for putting up wallpaper, is really good to use as wrapping paper. So I'm going to take you back to my desk. Here's some more examples on the floor. We've got deer here running through the trees, more trees. I really like the white paint on the brown paper. So, and here's some snowmen. Okay, so let's show you how to do this. Just put my phone. Okay, let's clear some space. So you need a chopping board. Here's my chopping board, and you need a knife. If you're going to use a sharp knife, which can be a bit easier for detail, you must only do that if you're with a parent, you've got someone working with you. This kind of knife works well too. So the first thing you want to do is get your potato, and you're going to cut it in half. I'm going to sit down to do this. Then it's quite good if you just dry it off a little bit. I've got a little bit of paper, toilet paper here, like this. And one of the easiest shapes to do is a triangle. And if you want to draw your shape onto the potato, a good thing to use is a watercolour pencil. Don't use a pen or a marker, because it ruins them, because the potatoes are kind of wet and it just wears the pen out. But if you use something water soluble, it shows up. So I'm going to do a triangle to start with. Okay. Then you're going to take your knife, I'll show you with a blunt knife first. So you're going to cut along where you've drawn. But you're not going all the way through, you're just going in a little bit. Maybe like 1/4 of an inch. You're doing that all the way around. Then when you've done all the sides, then you want to go in around the edge. And it falls off then. I'm not going all the way across, just a little bit in. It's meeting my other knife cut. Okay, so that's a triangle. Quite simple. Let's see, I'll do a star next. So a quick way to draw a star is if you do 2 triangles. So you do one triangle like this, and then you do the other one upside down. And if you want, you can turn it around so they're laying over the top of each other. And now you've got a star. Then you get your knife. You do the same thing, cut round the outline first, carefully. And have a look in your kitchen at what tools you have. You might have just a perfect little knife for this, not too sharp. And talk to your family about what you can use. And I'm doing the same, going around the outside, and then just give it a little flip out. And that's the star. Okay, so we've got a star. I'll show you how to do a tree next. So you might need a parent to cut your potatoes in half before you start using a sharp knife. When you are using a sharp knife, always keep your fingers behind the blade. So I've cut that lengthwise this time. Just going to dab that off a little bit. And then draw your tree on, okay? One easy way of doing it is if you do triangles, you've got one triangle here, another one here, another one here, and they're getting smaller, and it's quite good because this potato is wider at the top than the bottom. And then you just add a stem at the bottom. Then you're going to do the same thing, cut around the outline of the tree. So this bit's got to be quite careful, going around the outside. Carefully taking the pieces off from around the tree. Maybe losing that stalk. Carefully get that bit out. Now I've got the tree. So you're kind of creating this raised outline of the tree, cutting away, so the paint can only go here, and I'm going to show you in a minute how to do it. Let's see what else. Oh, the reindeer is quite a good one. So what I did for the reindeer, here's the one I already made. So it's had paint on it, but hopefully you can see what it's... So, I mean, you could also use this format to turn it into a dog or a horse. So I would draw it on first and try not to get too thin. I think it makes it, especially if you're not using a sharp knife. I used a sharp knife to cut this out. You might want to keep it a little chunkier. So I did a straight line for the back, and then a tail coming off here. Another line underneath here, and then the legs. Keep it quite simple, the shapes. And then you've got the nose coming out here, and then the antlers. I'm doing one going off like that. If you want to do an eye or something, you can get a sharp pencil, or if you look in your kitchen, you might be able to find like a wooden meat, like a skewer for doing kebabs that's got a sharp end, and you can poke it in and kind of dig it around to make the eye, like that. Okay. And then I'm going to cut round it like we did before, like we did with the tree, to make the outline. So this one I'm going to use the sharp knife, but always have the hand behind the blade. So I might go along and do all the lines where I can have my hand, and then turn it around and do some the other way. The antlers is the tricky bit. It's good having that point on the knife as well. Oops. So I'm going to go around that head. And then you're going to turn it on its side, go around and get the pieces out. Like that. Flips out. That one's out. That's the tail. I think I've actually just taken the leg out, but don't worry because it will still look good. And actually, I'm going to correct, you might add another leg in here. So if you make a mistake, don't worry. It's very forgiving and it can still look really good. Yeah. This is definitely one of the trickier ones, the reindeer, so I wouldn't do this as your first one. There, one more tiny bit here, and then we're done. Now, so that's the rain. It's a running reindeer. You'll see it printed in a minute. You could do a little house like this. So I want it to have straight edges, or I'll draw it on first. So I'm going to cut straight edges here, the bottom of the house, and this is the roof, and then I'll have to dig out some windows like that. So take that around there. Again, I've just cut a little bit off that, easily done. I'm just going to take it in a little bit further there. Yes, so don't fret if you make a mistake. And I'm just going to dab it off because let's see, I'm going to have a window there. If you want to just cut out a line, if you do it one way, like that, and then the other way, and you can flip it out like that. And do that there. 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 I've got that little bit to get rid of. Okay, so that's a little house. Okay, I'm going to show you how to print some of these now. Just make some space. It's quite messy, so have a garbage bin close by. Then get your paper ready. I'm going to start with some brown paper, and I really like using the white paint on the brown paper, and it's good if you, paper plates are quite good because you want the paint to be spread out a bit. And then if you get your print first, I'm going to try the tree first, and you dip it in You can sort of move it around a little bit like this. So you've got good coverage on there. And then you're going to put it on your paper and press down, lift it up. It's quite nice to do another one without dipping it in the paint again. I quite like the kind of printerly textured effect you can get. And then just keep going, dipping and spreading out your trees, or you know, you can make it into a little forest. Don't worry about like splatters. It just looks like extra bits of snow. So I'm going right the way off the edges. So that's the first piece. Hope that gives you an idea. So it doesn't matter, you know, if it's not a full print. I like these delicate ones too. They look like icy trees. So just keep going once you start. You can mix up your prints. So you could have, I could do a page of stars and reindeer or houses. Let's try the house next. So I'm going to dry that off a bit here. So I've got some red and orange paint here. You can also mix it up a bit. I'll start with the red. Put some pressure on there. Just keep going. I might put a little bit of yellow in there too. Put it all over the back of the potato. Going all over the paper. You could do a whole village. You could cut out other buildings, tower blocks and things. So just keep going. So we've got houses. It's got to wet my hands. Here's my cloth. And then let's see, what else did we do? I'll show you the reindeer. The white paint again. Here's the one I just cut out. So we're going to dip it in. And press it down hard. That one didn't work at all. I've got too much paint on there. You can always wipe it off on the edge of the paper. Start again. Let's see if this one works. That's a bit better. I'm just going to keep going this time. Bit snowy, these reindeer. So don't worry if it's not working, just keep going, because even if that's kind of an abstract deer, it's kind of dashing across the paper. Here's the other one I cut earlier. I think maybe I've got more space between the legs, because I think the paint is catching in here, where I had to add that extra legging because I cut one off here. So let's see, I think that's probably better, because it's now the paint's not catching between the legs. That's better, isn't it? kind of trial and error, experiment, but don't throw anything away because I'm sure you could use it. And then because of it's deer, then you could add in a tree so they look like they're running in a forest. So here's my tree. So I've got some green here. So they're in their forest, running about. Okay, so you have some deer. Let's do this feather star next. Here's the star. I've got plenty of paint on there. Oop. Keep going, even if you drop it. That's a star. Okay, that one's really effective. One last one, that's the triangle. I quite like the simple shapes. And it's just, you also, then doesn't have to be for any particular holiday. You can make wrapping paper for birthdays and things. So let's do some blue and green. Here we go. I like that. Checked. There we are. So keep dipping it back in and getting a bit more. Okay. One thing I quite like doing is just using the potato. This is just a potato cut in half, making kind of abstract, using the potato shapes to make a snowman. So I'm just going to use that shape, dip it in the, and you can also use this technique, any of these techniques actually, for making holiday cards as well. So this is like the body of the snowman. Just going to put that down, put some pressure on. It's quite hard to hold these big ones. So that's the body, and then I've just got a plain round for the head. I might do, that one's still got a lot of paint on, so I'm just going to do that there. And another head here. Another one down here, and then the head's here, and then you can get a Q-tip like this and dip it in black paint and add the eyes. Oops. You can add some buttons. Okay. So someone could print the snowman and someone else could do the buttons or something if you're working as a team. That's another idea. This was another one I cut out where I just went round like this, cutting out triangles, and then it looks a bit like a snowflake. Let's get a piece of paper. snowflakes flying around across your wrapping paper. So you can just experiment with the shapes you can make out of the potatoes. It's quite fun making stripes like this. It could be a bit like a Christmas bauble or something like that. Take that one to show you. Couldn't find it, so I'm going to just show you that one. It's like stripes. Like this. And then you can change the direction each time you lift it up. So you could do one that way, and then one that way. Oop. And just keep going. What else do I do? And crosses are really effective like this. And that's very simple, and you can make them. And they're quite good, these new potatoes, because you can kind of hold on to that bit. You've got quite a good grip. Okay, I think I've shown you lots of different ideas, and there's more on the internet if you want to have a look. But just keep experimenting. This was another snowman I did, and I just used the skewer again to dig out, or you could use the end of a knife, but again, don't use the sharp knife unless you've got your family helping you. Okay, just digging them out, but also look at the shape of the potato before you cut it. Are you going to do something that's long, or are you going to cut it like that and use that shape? So yeah, have fun. If you've got any questions, you can always email me. But the main thing is just have fun, get everyone involved. Anyone can have a go at this, and it's really fun. And you've got all your wrapping paper made. It's the 1st of December, and so you could start making some. I know whatever holiday you're celebrating, everybody's going to have some gifts to wrap up. You can also print them onto brown paper bags, like get the grocery store bags and print on those, or any other kind of paper bags. But yeah, have fun, and I'll see you in the next class. Okay then, bye.